that people that actually should have kids, like people that are educated, people that actually went to college, or people that have successful careers, they don't want to have kids. And then people that don't they're not the best, let's say, parents outside of there. They have 13 kids, you know, and all because of ignorance. Plenty of them don't know the existence of a condom.
I feel like that also starts with the parents.
Do you think so?
I feel like teaching your kid that, like, obviously, like, if I graduated high school and I wanted to become a parent, okay, cool. Like, I can make that own decision, whatever. But I feel like it starts with the parents teaching them, like, hey, like, what are you wanting to do with your life? Like, obviously, you can't ask them that at 6 years old. Dude, they don't even know what they want to do for their birthday party thing. You know what I'm saying?
They don't even know themselves, like...
Right.
Hello, how you doing? My name is Federico Morado. Welcome to Trending Topic Talks, the podcast in which we talk about trending topics. Today, I have a really special guest, Stephanie Pereff. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Fine, thank you. Thank you for coming, by the way.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
We were talking about this, for a month now?
Oh, Lord. I feel like it's been longer than that.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
Yeah, we've been trying to do this for a while, so we finally got to do it.
We finally got it. Yeah. Your busy agenda got adjusted, and mine too. Yeah. So, I was researching on Stephenie, and I found out some cool stuff. I found out that you are the older sister. I found out that you are majoring in kinesiology. Yeah. Is that correct? Yeah. How do you like it? How do you like it majoring in kinesiology?
It's my first year, obviously, studying that major, and it's been smooth so far. I haven't really gotten into, like, the core of it yet. Yeah. But it's been easy. I mean, nothing really crazy hard to do, honestly.
You're taking, like, the basics, right? Like history, still,
yeah,
stuff.
That's what you have to do, unfortunately, your first year, possibly second year. But after that, you get into, like, the basics of your degree.
That was, like, a crazy thing for me, because my first year in college was technically, for me at least, was another year of high school. Because in Mexico, the first year in college, you take, like, the basis of what you were learning up the next years. So, for example, when I was in my first year, I studied electrical engineering. Well, now computer engineering. And my first years were like, okay, I'm taking U.S. history again, and I'm taking. Well, I didn't ever take U.S. history, so I was like, okay, who's Abraham Lincoln again? Okay, who's George Washington? Okay, this dude did this, and then they did that. So that was super crazy for me. However, like, learning that, like, in the U.S., they take the pre-courses on like they refresh everything from high school and then some of the basics. So that's cool. I mean.
Yeah, but I mean, they get pretty boring, and I feel like sometimes I feel like they're useless. I'm like, why am I here?
Which classes do you think they're useless?
I think history. I wouldn't say useless. I would say history is kind of like
tedious, right?
Yeah, it depends on your degree, honestly. Like, what am I gonna need history for? Trying to be a coach.
Yeah,
you know.
I think that it's more about like pop culture and like general knowledge, because you don't want to be around hanging with people that don't know who's on the dollar bill or like who's you know that kind of stuff. Yeah. Rather than actually impulsing, because it was a big theme for me in high school. Like, people, like my peers, always say like, okay, why do I need calculus for if I'm gonna be, I don't know, a footballer, or if I want to be an architect, you know, like that kind of stuff. But like, whenever you grow up, you know that, I don't know you think this, I want to know your opinion, but like, are college educated people a little bit more like, they're going, like we say in Mexico, like the hamster runs a little bit faster, you know, like, okay, like they can talk a little bit more, and educated people?
Yeah, I mean, I think honestly it varies on the person. I think it depends individually on each person. I don't think it's based off of who goes to college or not. I think it just depends on the IQ of the person and just like what they've learned and how they've learned it.
Yeah, I mean, how do they use their knowledge? Because that's another thing, right?
Right. I mean, I think honestly it just varies. Each person is different. So I think it depends.
Normally in Mexico, we have like this, like in Mexico, it's not like in the US that not a lot of people go to college. Like I think that 1 in every 10 people go to college, and like it's super hard, or 1 in every 6, something like that. And so whenever you actually graduate from undergraduate school and you became like an engineer or something like that, they tell you like right away. For example, if you become an engineer, they tell you, oh, how you doing, Engineer Pereff? Like that's the first thing they tell. They forget about your first name, and now you're engineer and then your last name. So I think in the US they don't like, we don't take it as seriously, like, because more people have a bachelor's, and people that have the opportunity to have a bachelor's, they choose to not, rather than in Mexico, like and there are a lot of places in the world, like people from all over the world know, but if they have the opportunity to go to college, they will, you know? So that's crazy for me that some people here actually don't want to go to college.
Yeah, I mean, I know a couple of friends of mine who didn't want to go to college simply because they were ready to get started on life. Like, they just weren't interested, and they were able to do what they wanted to without going to college. And I think that's great. If you have the opportunity, then sure, yeah.
Do you think college worth it? Like, if you were to talk to
me,
a
I think
high
it's
schooler?
worth it.
Okay.
Honestly, like, if they ask me my opinion, I think it's worth it because, one, you get your degree. Two, you make connections and know people and get to make a lot of friends and things like that and meet professors who know people for your degree. And then also, like, the social aspect of things, like, you get to experience it and stuff.
Yeah, it depends on the person also.
Yeah.
For example, what major do you think that is not worth it? Do you think there's just majors that are not, like, not useless, but a little bit less, like, okay, you could have watched a YouTube video for that, you know?
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like, I don't know, honestly. I don't think I know much about all of the degrees out there to answer that question, honestly.
I think that, for example, medicine, engineering, law, let's say all the realms of medicine, which includes kinesiology and stuff like that, you will like someone that has a certificate to, like, manipulate your stuff, you know? For a lawyer, I want my lawyer to be an educated person, like,
legit,
okay, for you to know the Constitution at least.
Yeah.
So for a kinesiology major, I would not like to know, like, okay, you're not squishing my thighs because you think that that's what it hurts, you know?
Right.
But, like, for example, let's say marketing or something like a little bit more artistic, not in a way like let's say marketing is an art, but it is more on the creative side of things. And I think that spending 4 years or 4 years and a half looking for a degree in marketing and stuff like that, don't you think?
Well, I mean, honestly, I think it's good that there are degrees out there like that because some people take it more seriously than others and want that opportunity to be above others and more educated on the subject. So I think it's great, honestly, that there are degrees for those things. But I mean, I understand where you're coming from on that. You can look that up on YouTube. But
like, you're taking a course basically. Like, why are you paying $1,000 on?
Yeah, I mean, that's another thing. I mean, some degrees I'm like, but some people, they want to feel more educated or become more educated than others. So I understand.
Why did you go into kinesiology?
Because I want to become a coach after my career of playing soccer.
Okay.
So I want to stay involved somehow.
Like, is there somebody in your family that studies that or medicine, something like that?
No, I'm actually the first athlete in my family
Really?
to not only, like, play college athletics, but, like, at the Division I level. Like, it's been crazy. And then also, nobody else in my family went to college. My dad and my mom were the first.
Well.
Yeah. And then my grandpa went for a couple of years, if I remember correctly. But that's it. And then, so yeah, kinesiology was my pick.
Yeah, like, go to definitely.
Yeah.
And on my side, it's my both parents went to college, and I'm the first engineer of not the family, because there's another cousin of mine that studies industrial engineering, but on the tech side, like, that's the most part, because it's a big part of your life whenever you, like, choose a major, because most parents would, like, okay, if you're not studying like we said, like, medicine or law or something, they will be a little bit more skeptical. What do you think about people that don't study what they love and they actually, like, go for the safe decision, let's say?
So you're saying, like, someone who wants to go with the safer play instead of trying to attempt what they love?
Totally. Yeah, like, for example, something like that.
I think that you should try to do it, like, try to go for what you love, because if you think about it, that's what you're going to be doing the rest of your life. Like, if that becomes your life, like, you're going to either love or hate your life. So, I mean, it's
that's kind of drastic, but yeah.
Yeah, it's honestly as simple as that. And that's why I chose kinesiology, because, like, it wasn't about, like, the money, really, for me, because coaching, like, it doesn't really make it's not a dentist or a doctor. Like, you're not going to make near that money. But it's still something that I'm going to enjoy doing and love what I'm doing. Yeah. And, like, things like that. So that's why I chose it, because I knew that I would enjoy doing what I love.
I mean, at least there are coaches that make a lot of money. Well, in the professional side of things, like, whenever you go to top leagues, like, let's say the Premier League,
right?
Or,
but
like,
they're still not going to be making, like, the dentist doctor kind of money, you know. But,
well, I mean, there's people like Pep Guardiola or like El Cholo Simeone that make, like, tens of thousands of millions of dollars a year. They like to stay there and to get, like, people say, okay, they're just teaching people how to kick a ball, but it's not about that. It's about the entertainment. You know, like, because if people are willing to pay $150 to watch 22 people play, they're definitely worth it paying $10 million a year for a person.
Yeah,
you know?
I feel like a coach isn't just about like what you said, like teaching someone how to kick a ball. Like obviously, if you're at any level playing soccer, you know to kick a ball. I feel like coaching goes beyond the field. I feel like it's your role to make sure that the athlete is taken care of off the field, as far as like whether it's giving them life advice or preparing them for life. And I feel like when I become a coach, that's going to be my goal, is to make sure that they are set up. Like whether if I just become a high school coach, for example, I want to make sure that they're set up not just on the field for the college next level, but also like off the field at the next level. I feel like coaches can also be like a lot of like not only like inspirations but role models to kids, or like some people, like I saw one of my coaches as like a second dad, like a father figure, or like if it's a woman, like a motherly figure, you know. So I feel like coaching is more than just like a teaching technical aspects of the game.
And at the end of the day, they're mentors, because you see them. Well, many of them not as a professional level, because many people or most people that are trained by a coach do not become coaches, like teachers. You know, like you see your teacher, your high school teacher, your elementary teacher, and you see them as a person that was resilient in everything that they did, because whether you like it or not, by the end of the year, by the end of the semester, you have a sort kind of relationship, like a little bit of relationship with them, and then you learn that that the dog died, or like they have a sibling that has like the sickness or not, and then you understand whenever you have like a vast relationship with someone, such as a mentor, as a coach.
Yeah, and I feel like that's another reason why coaching is important, is because you're building a relationship with like that kid or that adult, young adult, whoever it is, whatever level, like for later on in life. Like if you can create that kind of relationship where they can come back to you later in life for anything, I feel like you've won.
Definitely.
Like I feel like that's what matters the most.
And do you play soccer and also watch soccer, or not that much?
Yeah. Are you kidding me? That's how we met. Was at the Locust game?
Yeah. I mean, but plenty of people go to the Locust game.
Okay, true.
Yeah. But the people that don't know, there's a team here. Actually, we had the team captain 2 podcasts ago, so shout out to Yuma. And we met at a Locomotive game. Go Locos.
Yeah.
Go Locos. And what else? What other teams do you root for? Normally?
It depends on the league, honestly, but
So you watch different leagues?
Yeah, I think my favorite is Bundesliga, because FC Bayern Munich. That's where Neuer plays. He's one of my favorite goalkeepers of all time.
Okay.
And then
he's
also
injured right now, right? I think so.
Yeah, he had a skiing accident.
Yeah. Why do you go skiing if you're the number 1 keeper in Bundesliga?
Yeah, that was kind of setting yourself up for failure, bro. But I mean,
definitely.
Hey, I can't talk on you. You're the best in the world. But, you know, and then honestly, like I have a favorite NWSL team. Do you watch the NWSL?
And NWSL is like the MLS but for women.
Yeah.
Okay, no, I didn't know.
Yeah. My favorite team is KC Current or Chicago Red Stars.
Okay.
Yeah.
She's a keeper?
The keeper for KC Current is Adrienne French, and I like her especially because not only does she play for the U.S. Women's National Team, but she played at OSU, which is Oklahoma State, which is Oklahoma. Yeah.
Yeah. No. I see where it's coming. I see where it's coming.
Yeah, but the Chicago Red Stars, my favorite player is probably I like the entire team, honestly.
They're listening, so be careful with your.
Honestly, well, I mean, I don't. Obviously, I could say the goalkeeper, but
yeah, that's kind of cliche.
I think it's. I like the whole team. Honestly, I like the jerseys. I like the stadium. I mean, everything. I just like everything.
Yeah. For example, for myself, Mexico is a country that breathes football and breathes soccer. I mean, every day, you see that the top news on trending topics. You see like, okay, there's this governor died and who lost in the clásico of America Chivas. It's so important. So whenever you grow up and whenever you don't talk about soccer, don't talk about like actual football, not only in the professional side, but like, okay, the most popular kids is the one that plays the best, you know? And the girls in Mexico is a little bit different, like because it's a little bit or more of a male-oriented country, let's say, on the mindset. That's really bad. However, we're seeing an upbringing women's soccer in Mexico. There's La Liga MX Femenil, and like plenty of them. Tigres, for example, in the north of Mexico. Rayados are bringing people from Europe. Like, you know, like the Liga MX is growing. How is for example, the new NWSL growing in the States?
Yeah.
How is that going?
It's going really well. I know KC Current just made history by having their own stadium just for the women's side, because
That's
know
awesome.
they also have like the
Shared,
men's team,
uh-huh.
and so they have to share. But with Sporting Kansas City, but now they're building their own stadium in Kansas City.
Okay.
So, yeah, it's growing. There's new teams being introduced, and a lot more players are being recruited, and the level is like just going up.
Yeah.
So it's really entertaining to watch.
Would you say women's soccer is more popular than men's soccer in the U.S.?
I think
At least
so.
in the local side.
Yeah, yeah, I would say so, because the last time the men's national team won a World Cup, I mean...
No, the third place in 1930, I think.
Yeah, and I understand like teams can be harder, but at the same
yeah.
time, it's like it's still the World Cup. And
Yeah,
we're
definitely.
still like winning back to back.
I think it was because, well, if you see it in a larger scale, like in the bigger picture, the most feminist countries in the world, they tend to have greater advantages in many things rather than the conventional things, like, let's say, the jobs like accounting or engineering, this kind of stuff. So let's say Finland or Norway or the United States, they have a little bit more of a feminist mindset, like the men and women are equal. So by that instance, you can see that things that are normally made for men, like soccer, they tend to be like a little bit more equal on the side on the women. And but I mean the soccer thing on the women's side was incredible. Like, what is it, like a 4 World Cups or 5?
Ooh, I think they just won their 5th.
Yeah, I think 5th or 4th. Correct, editor. Please put here the little picture. But
yeah, because I lost track.
Yeah.
I kind of
there's so many that I lost track.
Well, I
you're
kind
being
of
kind of cocky, Steph, right here.
Well, I'm saying I kind of lost track and stopped keeping tabs once Hope Solo left, because she was my favorite goalkeeper of all time, still is, and I have a lot of respect for her. But I mean, I just kind of stopped keeping tabs once they let her go. I was like, okay, she's not playing anymore. Whatever. I'm gonna watch other teams.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, because well, normally people root for their country. Like, nevertheless, like what happens, and in Mexico that happens a lot. However, recently we've having a lot of controversy because we didn't have the best role in the last World Cup, as the male side,
Right.
Of course. But however, we can see that more female coaches are rising, and female how do you say it, the referees, referees are being on the Bundesliga, of course, like,
I know the
referee
referee that one of the female referees that was just in the World Cup. Her name's Tori Penzo.
Okay.
She's one of my mutual friends. And
you met her?
Yeah,
Where?
I know her personally.
Oh, okay. Where?
She lives in Florida.
That's crazy.
She's pretty cool.
Shout out.
Yeah, her and her husband are both referees. Yeah, they're pretty cool
Dream
people.
team.
Yeah, she's honestly an inspiration. Like, the way she's always working and grinding, like, just inspirational for sure. So
Would you like to become a referee one day? Maybe.
no, because half the
It's very
world's gonna hate
controversial.
you,
Yeah.
the other half's gonna love you based off a card.
That's
Like,
crazy.
not happening.
Yeah.
Not happening. No.
It's a lot of pressure for an individual,
Yeah, and I feel like already it's enough pressure being a goalkeeper, because you're the one that lets the ball in the back of the net or keeps it out of the net.
The last part of the fence.
So, let alone like be the one that calls the game, makes or breaks it. No.
Yeah,
not my
that's a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
Definitely. Okay, so Steph, like I told you behind cameras, this is Trending Topic Talks, a place where we talk about trending topics.
Yeah.
So the first trending topic, it's California, because there was, I don't know if you saw the video, but there was a baby that was like let go by, I don't know if it's parent. I can show the video a little later on, but like it's practically somebody carrying the carrier for the baby, right, for the stroller, and then the person, I don't know if it's a woman or a man, but like it like goes down, and then the baby goes off, and then it's going to like almost to hit the cars like in the road, but then somebody comes over and saves the kid. So that's unbelievable, and it went viral because like the man that saved the kid was like also like not paying attention, and it's on footage. I'll show you the video a little bit.
Yeah.
But I wanted to ask you, have you had any life-threatening experiences?
Most definitely, actually.
You have? Okay,
yeah,
okay.
Yeah, but just you
Tell
talking
us.
about that's crazy.
Yeah, it was
I did not
crazy.
hear about that.
Yeah, it was. Let me see if I find the video. But
Yeah.
it was crazy because normally I think that the world has become a little bit more of a selfish part of them.
Oh, for sure.
However,
I can see that, unfortunately.
we can see it. But with that kind of stuff, I mean, you're gonna save the kid. Like even if it's your worst enemy, you cannot blame it on the kid.
Right,
So-
yeah. But you asked me what happened to me.
Yeah.
I feel like I've honestly had a couple, to be honest. But
Really?
one of them is just recently I was crossing the street late at night and I almost got hit by a car.
Wow.
Yeah, someone pushed me out
Here?
of the way. Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
El Paso. Hey, be careful. We want
Yeah.
foreigners to.
It was on Mesa.
Okay, over here.
Yeah.
Yo, it's crazy.
So please be careful.
But how was it? Like you were pushed or like you were?
I don't really
You were on foot?
honestly remember what happened. I just remember that I was crossing the street and I had just left my group of friends and they were like, Stephanie, and they were like freaking out and I was like looking at them like, what's wrong with you? And then I just heard screeching and then next thing I know I'm on the sidewalk and I was like, wait. And they were all like running over and obviously the car was like, wait, did I hit you? And I was like, no.
What?
Like it was pretty frightening.
It was going fast. I assume.
Yeah. They ran a red light.
Oh, no way.
And he was apologizing. He was like, well, if I didn't hear you, but yeah, I ran a red light. I was like, dang, dude.
Motherfucker.
Like, seriously.
Damn. Just because a little mistake, like, okay, I'm being late for work. And then
Yeah,
I can
like-
run over somebody.
Yeah,
It was late at night or what time is it?
It was at like, well, it wasn't that late. It was at like 10:30, 11. It wasn't
I mean,
that late.
it's not like 2 a.m. where we
No,
can
no,
get
no.
run lights. Uh-huh.
Yeah, no. You shouldn't be that late
Definitely.
anyways.
Yeah, I know.
But, you know, but yeah.
I'm going to show you the video. Look. So, for the people that are watching, we're going to put the video on screen. But here's the video. So that person was like, okay, fell. And then it was going to the traffic, you know? And then, right, whenever it's going to be to the traffic, the person cannot get up. And then he comes around.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy. He's a hero.
Thank God.
And then
Holy
like
cow.
because that can happen to anybody. I mean, it's not. What do you think about that? Was a parent responsible?
Ooh,
What do you think?
I can't tell from that.
From
I
no
don't
context,
know.
Steph. Hot shot. What do you think?
I think it was multiple factors.
Okay.
I mean, I don't think it was 100% the parent at all. I think it was just honestly like what if it was just the stroller itself? Like what if there were brakes on it and the parent didn't put it on? What if the brakes failed? You know, like
Yeah.
you don't that's crazy. And that's what I hate about social media, honestly, especially nowadays is you don't know everything that's going on in that situation because obviously one, you're not there, and then two, it's like social media can cover up so many things and only tell like 5% of the story.
Definitely.
But I mean, in that situation, honestly, I think it was just unfortunate and unlucky. Like I wouldn't blame anyone for that.
Are you
honestly.
public on your social media? You like to share stuff, personal life and stuff. Yeah.
Mainly it's sports related, obviously, because that's my life.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's honestly about it. I
Or
don't
like,
really-
for example, some people don't like sharing. Well, their boyfriends, their family.
Right.
Like, okay, they
I
don't want to know.
still share that stuff, but
you
it wouldn't
share
be anything like personal, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like even if I had I have a public account, even
Yeah.
if I had a private account, I feel like personally, like I still wouldn't expand on those things, like
Yeah.
personal things, you know?
Yeah,
Like
definitely.
I don't know.
Because most people also comment on the good things rather like hate on the good things, you know? Like most recently we had a video talking about Real Madrid and we were talking about how the great the team is and how like awesome it is. And that video got a lot of exposure. So that gave my account a little bit of exposure too. And people went to my photos from 2016, 2017 and actually like, okay, so they told me like, okay, you're saying this about Real Madrid or saying this about this because you are let's say you have privilege, so you're not entitled to give an opinion, you know, that kind of stuff that
Oh,
like
wow, it's
are irrelevant at all.
pointless. Yeah.
Like totally irrelevant, but like people can be so mean, like
Oh, for sure.
behind the screen, like you don't have anybody telling you not to do
That's
stuff.
what I feel like another
crazy.
issue with social media is, and especially the internet nowadays. Like, I feel like a lot of people have become honestly weak and not as strong. Because if you really want to say something negative to someone, like, I feel like they wouldn't say it to your face, like,
Yeah.
to your face.
Have you ever had like bullying stories or something like that? Like
Oh
back in high
yeah,
school,
like all
elementary?
throughout like middle school,
Really?
my old private school. It wasn't the private school's fault. It was the kids, obviously.
yeah.
And then also high school, but I mean, there's been worse cases out there and kids experiencing worse than what I did. But I still had my fair share.
But I mean,
and I still do.
Who's
I
the
mean,
judge on worst or better? You know, like I
True.
mean,
I mean,
you had a
everybody
hard
goes
time.
through different things.
Yeah, you had a hard time, then you don't have to settle
Yeah,
for
I
that
still
stuff.
had a hard time. I mean, you know, but I mean, people do go through worse than what
Yeah.
I did. I know for a fact.
Do you think?
Yeah.
What
I
was the
mean,
worst story have you heard of bullying? I have a couple at my school, so you turn first, and I'll tell you mine.
Me personally, like
Let's
people
see
that
who's-
I know.
Oh yeah, let's see what school was the meanest.
One of my friends, she went to a high school back in Texas. We were teammates on a Texas team. She went through severe bullying, like as far as like they were destroying her stuff. My stuff was never destroyed.
Oh.
But, like, her stuff was legitimately getting destroyed. Like, mine was just all words and talk, you know? Like, she was getting straight up tripped and pushed and, like, her stuff was getting destroyed. But as far as, like, me, mine was just all, like, words and, like, people literally hiding behind a screen, like, being like that to me. And you're still gonna get it. And I still do. Yeah. Like, it's... Unfortunately, that's how the world is. And it sucks. But, I mean... That's another negative side of social media.
And I think our generation, like, let's say from 2006 all the way to 98, 96, we have this problem that now bullying comes from all places. Like, back in the day, you went home and that's it.
Right.
Now it's like, okay, they're bullying you home and then they're calling your house.
Right.
And then they're telling your...
It can be from multiple devices too.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
and like secret accounts, and then you block one and then the other one
They create another.
Yeah, that's great. And bots, now they're bots about like, okay, let's make 1 million bots and then crash your account. That's crazy.
Right. No. I experienced that too.
Yeah.
It sucks. It's like, dude, I just blocked you and then there's 3 more.
Yeah, it's envy at the end of the day. I think it's envy. Most recently, I was talking to a bunch of high school kids, and I gave a conference about what's the opposite of love. So most people think that whenever people hate on you, they are because they hate you. Yeah. And in a bit of people of that part, they are. But most of them, they admire you at the end. Like, they actually are telling you stuff because they cannot do some stuff.
Right. I feel like sorry, I didn't mean to.
No, worry.
But I feel like, honestly, like, a lot of hate is because people are hurting and they don't know how else to express it. Like, I feel like they don't have a source to talk to, or they don't have a healthy way of letting out the anger, because it's okay to be angry at things. Like, there's nothing wrong with getting upset at things at all. Like, it's totally fine to feel that way. But, like, for me, that's why I turned to boxing, is so I could let out, like, so I could let out, like, my anger and stuff on a punching bag. Not
or punching the wall whenever you get mean something. Yeah, of course.
But, like,
or your siblings, it's okay.
I mean, but it's a bag. It's like
it's
and
a
it's
thing.
also getting a workout, and it's a positive. It's a healthy way.
Yeah, physically you're getting everything out.
Yeah, in a healthy way, and you don't have to use words or hatred. Like, you're just like, I'm gonna punch this bag as hard as I can until I can't.
Broke my hand, huh? Yeah,
not that far. I've got soccer.
Have you ever gone to therapy?
No, actually, I have never needed it personally. I've always had a source to talk to.
Like your mom or coach or friends?
It was always my coach. Whatever coach I had, or my dad. My dad's always been cool.
Okay. What do you think about therapy? Do you think, like, people are overusing it? People are, like, covering a bit behind? Because normally you can see, like, people actually having, let's say, an anxiety attack. And then blaming on their psychologist because they're not doing a great job. But normally, like, they have to work on themselves a little bit more, rather on boxing, soccer, or even therapy,
Right. I think there's different ways. Like, there's different types of therapy. My therapy is soccer. My therapy is boxing. Like, I feel like it depends, and there's nothing wrong with it. Like, if your therapy is talking to a licensed therapist, then that's your way of having therapy. Like, it depends on each person. Like, each individual is different. How they handle things, how they think about things, what they think about things, like, how they feel about certain things. Like, it's just, everybody's individually different. So I feel like therapy is also different for everyone. But I don't think that having, like, a licensed therapist is bad at all. Like, I feel like if that is your best bet on, like, talking to someone or letting out anger and stuff and venting to someone, then great. That's your way of doing things. But I don't think there's anything, like, wrong with it.
It's crazy how expensive it is, though. It's expensive.
I know.
It's expensive as fuck. I don't know. I mean, I know why, because, like, there's a high demand and a low like, supply of therapists.
I think that's also another problem is how expensive it is, because it's like, if you really think about it, there's some people that are actually out there really hurting, but they can't afford it. Yeah, I feel like they need to, like,
whenever you broke a leg, you go to the hospital, no matter what, because you're, like, it's hurting.
Right.
But, like, if you are super depressed, you are scared, first of all, what people will say if they know that you go to therapy, and then you don't want to, like, outcapitalize yourself because you're going to therapy, so that's
right. But I feel like it's not fair, the pricing, for sure, because I feel like there's a lot of people out there that need, like, that would work best for them, but they can't because they don't have the access to it or the funds. But I think that mental health is a huge, huge thing, and it's real. Like, a lot of people, they're like, oh, mental health isn't real, or oh, mental health is just like a weak like way of hiding behind an excuse, which some people hide behind it and do like take advantage of that term, but it's a real deal. Like your mental health is like important, and it needs to be at its best, the best way you can.
And for men, it's like, okay, man up, like be a man, and
Right?
stuff
But
like
it's
that.
like
But like, dude, what the fuck? I mean, you cannot man up about being depressed,
right? And it's like, you know, that's another issue. Is like I feel like society is so quick to judge and to stick to these unrealistic standards. Like as a guy, you should be allowed to like feel okay or be weak in times. Like I don't feel like you should just be like, because if someone told me to woman up all the time, I'd be like,
what does that mean?
right? I'd be like, dude, like this is a serious situation, or this is a situation that I think is serious, like, and I'm gonna have my weak moments. Everybody does.
And I think it's a strong, like, rather contradictory, but it's a strong to be weak in some ways. Like you said, it's a strong to actually talk about your problems, because that means that you're attacking it. And like in every relationship, in a relationship with your father, with your siblings, with let's say boyfriend, girlfriend, even a relationship with yourself, you need to be real. You need to be talking about the stuff that it's hurting you.
Yeah, because if you don't deal with reality, then you're gonna be living in a false reality and also a false world, and that's not how you win at life, at anything.
Yeah.
So that's what my dad always told me. He's always like, be realistic, but have these goals, have these expectations, shoot for your dreams, shoot for the stars, you know, but try to go to the moon, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But like, you also have to be realistic. Otherwise, not only will you be let down, because you're gonna be let down. No matter
Steph, you have
what
to
it
put in
is.
the work. I mean, that's
Yeah,
what
and that's
many
another
friends of
thing.
mine are like, okay, I want to do this, I want to do that.
That's
Dude,
being
where
realistic.
are you
Is
doing?
accepting
What are you
that
doing
you have to
it?
put in work, whatever
Yeah,
you're doing.
definitely.
Whatever you're doing. If you're wanting to be one of the greatest chefs in the world, you're gonna have to be willing to put in the work
Start
to do
cooking.
whatever it is to get there. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's another thing people don't realize. It's frustrating.
Yeah, and for example, the older generations, let's say our parents, are a little bit more, let's say, goal-oriented, but in a realistic way. Whenever you tell them, or what I assume that normally whenever you were a little bit little, you were like, okay, I want to be a soccer player, maybe in the future. And then you grow up and realize that is not what you want. You want to be a little bit more flexible with your life. For every male, I think in Mexico, they want to become a soccer player at one point in their life.
Right.
And at some point, whenever you're 15, 16, when you're going out, when you meet this girl, whenever you know, that kind of, that time in your life, okay, I don't want to go with soccer. I want to do another thing.
It's too young to date at that age, in my opinion. Yes, I
when
feel
is
like...
the perfect age to start dating?
I would say when you're 18, because that's when I started dating.
Okay.
Yeah.
How old are you?
I'm 19.
Okay,
so
a year ago.
A year ago. I think, honestly, like, I had my first boyfriend at 17, though.
Okay.
Because...
So then...
But, I
what's up?
mean... I felt personally that my standard and what my dad wanted also for me and advised me to do was wait till I was 18, which it makes sense, you know, like, and honestly, he was like, don't feel pressure to start dating at 18. Like, wait until like you're old enough to understand what you've got going on for your life. Then, like, you know, if it comes across your path, then great. But if it doesn't, don't go looking for it.
I think that we have to have a balance. I mean, there's kids 11, 12, like having these girlfriends and asking some questions that you shouldn't be questioning yourself about that stuff at 11.
Right. And then also it's high school.
Yeah.
Like, you're still technically kids. Like, I understand you can drive and everything else, but I feel like that makes it worse. Like, you get into trouble in high school, you just start to drive. That's a whole nother ballgame, you know? But I feel like in high school, like, it's not the wisest option because it's like, what are the chances you're going to go to the same college as that person? What are the chances that you're going to have the same vision as that person? Like, you find yourself in college, I feel like, personally, because I found myself, it's only my freshman year, like, I actually know who I am as a person.
But you're a little, Steph, so you don't know about life,
right? But I mean,
I'm just kidding.
in just the short amount of time that I'm alive, I know where I'm at currently.
I don't like when people tell me that I'm young enough to do something, you know, like I don't like being told about what to do. And for example, in love, you don't decide who you love.
Exactly.
I mean, it's a feeling. You decide at the end if you correspond to that love that's being like told to you, or like start dating, of course, like that, because many people are scared of their parents and like, okay, you cannot date this boy. You will not, like, because they will, I mean, in a Mexican household, they will kick you in the ass. Like, they will tell you no, and then they will, most Mexican people have like scars in their butt because, I mean, I want to put some pictures here. Yeah, the rumors are true. But I think that normally whenever you're like 16, 15, you can start asking these questions about not only love, but about sexuality also. Because
Right.
if you have an erection or something like that, or you have your period as a girl, whenever
Right.
like 12, 13 years old, and then
Right.
you're asking, hey, mom, why did this happen?
Right. You have
And
to be
many
like,
people,
what is this?
and many people have the ignorant response like, okay, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Just keep up. Just tell me when this happens, and then I'll take care of it. Or whenever a boy like, hey, dad, somebody told me about this and told me about that, and then they don't actually do it.
Right. And I feel like that goes for a lot of things in
Yeah.
high school, and like not just that stuff, but like everything. Like you
What
don't-
else, for example?
Oh, like the stuff that your parents tell you not to do, the stuff you don't talk about, the stuff you do hide from your parents, you know? Like, I feel like that's something you have to educate your kids about, first of all. But it's like, it's not really on the parents. I feel like a lot of people put stuff on the parents. It's not the parents' fault if the kid goes off and makes bad decisions when they've been educated enough. Like, I feel like, so if my parents told me, don't do drugs, and then I go out and do drugs, like, that's not the parents' fault.
Okay.
In
But
my
at what
opinion.
age depends. I mean, it depends. Like if you're 13 and you're
Well, if you're
smoking
13
crack
and you, right, it's like,
outside high
how
school.
did you not know that your kid got a hold of this?
yeah.
I feel
It's
like
kinda
if
your
you're at
fault.
like an old enough age, like,
Let's say 19, 20.
yeah, I would
Okay.
say it's not the parents' fault.
No,
Because
yeah,
you're old enough to make your own decisions.
Yeah,
But below
definitely.
that, definitely, like,
Okay.
you know, it's definitely
Yeah,
on the parents.
and it's hard to be a parent. I mean, I'm not a parent, but I
This
assume it would
is
be.
why you wait until you have your career going for
That's
you.
crazy. What do you think about that? I mean, women being a little bit more independent, birth rates going down, the United States having a problem about young people. We assume that I think in 2060 we'll not having like a lot of social security problems about the money and stuff like that.
I think that women being independent is great, honestly, because I'm obviously like speaking.
And independent women, of course.
Right.
Clap, 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 clap.
I think it's a great like virtue to have is to be independent, male or female, like not just
Yeah.
limiting
An
and
independent person.
Yeah.
Non-binary person.
yeah, because it's like you shouldn't be dependent on someone else,
Yeah.
otherwise you won't be successful in life. Like I personally feel, and this is how I've been raised, is personally feel like when I'm successful myself, whatever age, wherever I'm at, whatever I'm doing, if I'm successful and steady at what I'm doing, and I don't need to depend on someone for it, on anything, then I'm winning. Like I'm solid, dude. Like I don't.
You don't depend on anything else.
No.
Yeah.
And it's
so-
like, I feel like parents, like your kids up until a certain age are supposed to depend on their parents.
Yeah,
you know?
naturally.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah.
But I feel like that's also the parent's job is the older they get, they have to start like letting the kid like learn, but also like, you know, once you've given so much advice, like it's up to the kid at a certain age to make their own decisions.
Yeah.
But I feel like the kids being so dependent on a parent that they should be able to like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like I'll give you an example.
Mm-hmm.
So like I could depend on my dad to get me to soccer practice
course.
up until a certain age. But like once I start to drive, like it's not really his responsibility anymore, and he has to be like, okay, like what if I don't like driving? Well, you need to start getting there. You need to start learning to be independent. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, of course.
Like I feel like you have to, as a parent, teach your kid to be independent in everything. Otherwise, they're gonna fail in life.
And you're gonna fail as a parent because
Yeah.
you're not gonna be around.
Yeah,
for a
exactly,
long time.
exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But the thing is that it seems crazy to me that people that actually should have kids,
Mm-hmm.
like people that are educated, people that actually went to college, or people that have successful careers, they don't want to have kids.
Mm-hmm.
And then people that don't they're not the best, let's say, parents outside of there. They have 13 kids, you know, and all
Right.
because of ignorance. Plenty of them don't know the existence of a condom.
Right.
Plenty of them don't know, like, if they can, you know, like they
Yeah,
don't
it
know.
makes
And
sense.
then we're seeing it. People, the birth rates in all over the world, in Spain, in Japan, in first world countries, even. Well, I think in Latin America, if you touch a Latin woman, it will get pregnant. We Latin people, we're so fertile, everything. But normally, like in the northern part of the world, is the birth rate is going down. So that's crazy.
I feel like that also starts with the parents.
Mm-hmm. Do you
I
think
feel
so?
like teaching your kid that, like, obviously, like, if I graduated high school and I wanted to become a parent, okay, cool. Like, I can make that own decision, whatever. But I feel like it starts with the parents teaching them, like, hey, like, what are you wanting to do with your life? Like, obviously, you can't ask them that at 6 years old. Dude, they don't even know
Yeah.
what they want to do for their birthday party thing.
course.
You know what I'm saying?
They don't even know themselves. Like,
Right,
what do you mean?
exactly. Like they don't know like what life really is. Honestly, they don't know. They're not mature enough near like enough mature to know anything. But I feel like it starts with the parents, like teaching them like, hey, what do you want to do with your life, and like telling them and giving them examples, and then like once they continue to grow up, like giving them examples and letting them be in situations, not like to get them like pregnant. Like as a parent, my number one priority is to make sure that my kids don't put themselves in situations where they're too young.
Yeah.
And then there goes their career.
Do you want to have family?
Yes,
like
of course, one day. But like,
how many?
I want to. I honestly haven't even thought about that. I've been so focused on soccer. I don't know.
You don't know?
I mean, I'll just go for number 2.
Because you're 2. The other day I read a study that normally people think that the right decision is
a boy and then a girl, because I want the boy to be the oldest. So
Okay.
It's like looking out for the little one.
For me, it will be either I don't want to have kids. Like that's not my main focus. Yeah, I don't want to have.
Interesting.
However, if I did, I would like to have 3. Just
Really?
like in my house. Like in my house, we were like 2 boys and a girl. The girl was in the middle. So normally the middle kid is the one that nobody cares about.
Yeah.
But like for example, in my case, it was a girl. So like you have to care about the girl.
Right.
The oldest sibling is the one that gets the most of life. Like the most of life in a sense. Like the parents are testing life with him. Like my parents. No, you know it's right. You know it's right.
I'm the guinea pig. For sure.
we're
I've
the
opened
guinea
up
pig.
so many doors for my little siblings. It makes me mad.
Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, you go on and you like, okay, you have to be here at 10:30, and then you see your sibling of the same age, and they're like 3 in the morning, and
I will never forget this. There was a high school football game, and I didn't go to an actual high school, like a public school, because I homeschooled so I could travel for soccer in Texas.
Wow.
And so when I went to high school, that was my junior year, and I was like, oh, football game's cool. They started at 8 o'clock at night. My dad was like, I want you home at 9. I was like,
what?
That's not even the length of a football game. Like, that's not even halftime.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Not even the national anthem.
Yeah, and then it's like, now it's like my little brother could go out to a high school football game and he'd be like, yeah, just make sure you let me know wherever you at if you, you know, and I'm just like,
Damn.
like, you let me know what time you want to be home. I'm like,
that's crazy.
yeah, it's like, dude, he's 10. How?
10.
Like,
Wow. Okay.
yeah, obviously my 10-year-old brother isn't going to high school football games.
Yeah,
so
no,
this
I
is
don't
with
know.
me.
But that's an example.
Stuff
yeah,
like that, I'm just like,
yeah, that happens. For me, it's more about like going out to my well, in Mexico you need to be 18 to be like to drink and to go to clubs and stuff like that. So
that's not my thing. I wouldn't know.
No, totally. Yeah, that's what I'm telling you. Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, in Mexico we're a little bit more. Well, in all over the world, we're a little bit more like loose whenever you're like 16, 17. Like faces start coming up a little bit sooner because of the age ranges and stuff like that. So whenever you're 16, 17, you start drinking, you start having let's say a cigarette, you start like people start like talking about that kind of stuff.
Right.
So whenever I was 17 and my friends started to drink, I was like, Mom, can I have a beer? Like, can I taste one? And they were like, okay, but just one. Because I was the first one, you know? Because
seriously.
Yeah. But, okay, but just one.
Honestly, I feel like as a parent, you shouldn't give your kid alcohol until like.
Do you think so?
I feel like it's setting your kid up for failure.
I don't
in a
think
way,
so.
in a way.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, I feel like it varies for the kid, but I feel like me as a parent, like I wouldn't give my kid alcohol unless like they're 21, just because one, like as the recommended age, and then 2, like I feel like I don't want them getting in trouble. Like, what if I give them alcohol, they like it, all of a sudden they're getting busted.
But that's a very, very American way to say things.
Right.
That's like the Uncle Sam telling stuff. So like I don't like whenever I'm here and whenever like people no because that's really okay hey that's a Yankee way to say things.
Right.
Because
I also
all over the world,
understand
we see
though like the letting loose and like giving your kid something but like limiting it.
Yeah, of course.
I understand both sides.
And it could go wrong both ways.
Right.
Most of my friends, I want to tell you something. Most of my friends that actually they weren't like they didn't have like this fun parents when they were young. Like they have a lot of restrictions. Like, hey, you need to be here at 9. Like you like at 9 and the game starts at 8.
Yeah.
Most of them they're crazy. They're batshit crazy right now. I mean, that's another
they're like
problem is
being
crazy
too
stuff.
strict of a parent.
Like they're super
and then...
hard drugs. Yeah, that's the other spectrum. So in my case, my mom was a little bit loosey on that kind of stuff, and I mean, I'm not a Albert Einstein, but I ended up well, you know, and we'll see what happens. However, in that kind of stuff with my sister, it's a little bit. I mean, she's a woman, so like either. Like we're equal, right? Men and women. But however, it's a little bit different for every case. So now she's going to these places, and I see that my mom's a little bit more mature about it because she saw what happens with me, you know?
Right.
So Kamila, me debes una. So she owes me one, definitely, because she got to life like where is she right now, mainly because, well, my mom and me. Yeah. But yeah, I mean that's crazy how there's different parenting styles, and at the end of the day, you don't know.
I don't honestly think there's like a right way of parenting.
Imagine if there what's the book best-selling book ever.
There's a rule book in everything in life, but there's just a right way of doing things, and there's just a wrong way of doing things. But I feel like also it depends on the person individually. Yeah. Like, there's no, like, if you do this, you will die. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't feel like
there's a couple of things that you do them and then you will die.
If you drop off a cliff, you will die. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Steph, come on, yeah. Come on.
But, like, I feel like a lot of people take it way too seriously. Yeah. I'm just like, dude.
You need to get loose a little bit.
Right. Yeah. But also, like, I'm only 19. Like, I'm not trying to be a parent in the next 2, 3, 5 years. I mean, I'm trying to play professionally.
When would you like to be a mother?
Once I'm already professional.
So 23, 24, 25?
Yeah.
Could be.
Somewhere around that, but definitely where I'm like steady in my relationship. And then also like whoever I end up marrying, like I want to be able to spend like my time with them, because once like a kid comes in, then you have to worry about like your relationship with your husband, and then also like
do you believe in marriage?
What do you mean?
Like marriage as a concept, do you like it?
Yeah. That's my goal, is to get married one day and to have kids when I'm studying my career. Okay. So
plenty of people don't marry. You know, like for example, for myself, I don't see marriage as a sure thing for me. Like you can have, for example, there's this YouTuber. Do you know Roman Atwood?
I know the name.
He's a blogger and he's from Utah. So. Like he's super famous. Yeah.
I think so.
So this dude didn't got married until a long time after her kids and stuff like that. And I see marriage as more as a formality rather nowadays. However, I see the concept of it. Like, I mean, it's joining two families together. Right. Legally, it has a lot of benefits for like a lot, like all of your stuff or your money, like have in Mexico.
Sign prenups.
Sign all your prenups. For many immigrants like myself, means green card and stuff like that. So it maybe it could be a good idea for me.
Once again, like there's so many different things in life, and it just honestly it depends on everyone individually. Like if marriage is for you, it's for you. If it's not, it's not. You know, like I feel like that's another thing with society, is like sticking to this standard that's honestly not realistic. Like some people, it may be in their best interest not to be married before they have kids. That's their life, you know? And I feel like a lot of people need to start seeing it that way. Like just because it's not your life and your way of doing things, like it's not your life.
Don't stick to it. Like don't like.
Then just don't do it for yourself.
I hate when people tell me, "Hey, you're wrong because of this."
Right.
I'm not wrong because of this. You're not either right or wrong. Right. However, I'm not either right or wrong.
Right.
I live my life how I like to be.
Yeah, and it's like with me, it's like I wouldn't have kids until after I'm married. But if you had kids before you were married, I'm not gonna be like, that's wrong of you. How dare you? Yeah. Like that's not the right way of doing things. You know what I'm saying? Like I'll be like, cool, I wouldn't do that, but that's your life. Good for you. Like Definitely. If that's your best interest, great. I'm happy for you. You know what I'm saying? That's another problem with society. That
we're judging a lot.
Yes.
And then we have the comment section right there. Like, okay, somebody uploads a picture with their kid at 20. That's debatable. Right. However, there's a comment section. There's the comment section that says, "What do you think?" You know, like, do you want to comment? Do you want to comment about this person? Yeah. And then you can actually, like we said before, make a fake profile and say, "Hey, your kid's ugly." You know, like mean stuff that it's not even necessary.
Yeah, I had an account that
really
in high
you were a bully.
No, not me. I'm saying.
I'm joking.
Whatever, dude. I'm over. I'm leaving. So in my junior year, no, it was my senior year in high school. There was an account of me that was all negative. Like they even somehow had like my baby pictures. Yeah, I was like, how did you get my baby pictures? Do you know my grandmother? Because there's no way. Like my
your brother was dealing their pictures.
My brother was like
bucks.
6 years old. Like he doesn't even have a phone at 10 years old. Like which I think is good because boys.
Yeah.
But I mean, it can go the same for girls. I'm not just singling out guys, but I'm scared. You know, my little brother's a good brother, but you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, how do you have my baby pictures? Like, how is this even? Yeah, and they were dissing the baby pictures. I'm like,
maybe the yearbook, something like that, or no?
No, like I wasn't in the yearbook. I was.
Oh, you were homeschooled also.
Yeah, and it's like that was like my second year there, and I didn't really do much my junior year. Just the sports page. I mean, I was staying myself. I didn't go to all the events. I went to prom once. That was it, and it wasn't. it wasn't that great to me. I mean, I was uncomfortable in a skin tight dress all night. I mean, and I was with my boyfriend at the time, who's no longer with me, obviously. But like, it just we had fun.
Yeah, different
but I mean,
times,
it
different
wasn't.
times.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I thought that was the greatest event of my life at the
course.
time. But then I'm sitting here and I'm like, Mom,
No.
you were right. This
Yeah.
was nothing. This was not that big of a deal. I went finally because I was scared since I was home. I'm like, what if I never go? Because I'm homeschooled. Where am I going to go to a prom? A homeschool prom? If
Yeah.
that's even a thing.
With the dog and everything.
Please.
I'm
But
joking.
no, like,
Yeah,
I mean,
get
it's
you, I
so
get
funny
you.
though, like being that young and then you're like, oh yeah, so crazy.
And you think that you're the
sitting
center of
here
the
now, like,
universe.
huh?
And you think that you're the center of the universe. Like, do you think that everybody cares about you? And then you're like,
Well,
grow
for
the
me,
fuck up.
I
I mean,
felt like it
nobody
was
cares about you. Like,
No,
nobody.
seriously, I felt like it was
Yeah.
the opposite for me.
Oh, then nobody care about you.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, because, ooh, high school. It's high school.
Yeah. I mean,
Like,
people,
even, like, the popular ones, like, they even feel like sometimes the world hates them.
yeah, definitely. That's the thing. But like, do you think that? Well, in high school, you think that everything's about you. Like, okay,
I
my
didn't
teacher
honestly
failed
feel
me
that
because
way.
he hates. Dude, he don't even.
Oh.
You know?
No,
that kind of
I
stuff.
honestly, I wasn't even, that wasn't my mindset. Like, I never took anything personal, never thought anything was personal. Like, if I got a bad grade, I was like, well, I'm an idiot.
Okay.
Like,
That's on me.
that's seriously, yeah. Like, that's how I was raised, and I was, like, raised to, like, take accountability for things.
Well.
So, and, like, just worry about myself and stay to myself for the most part. Keep my circle small. So, yeah, I mean.
And that's important when you're growing up because
Yeah.
like you have to have a close circle so that you don't have like,
yeah, and it's high
bad
school.
influences.
Like, you're most likely not going to go to college with these people.
Yep.
And if you do, great.
see
you
you
know,
there.
like, lucky you.
Definitely. Okay, Steph, how about we go to the second trending topic?
Yeah.
So the second trending topic is marijuana, because recently, well, yesterday or I don't know today, there was a study saying that 30% of the cases in schizophrenia between men of 18 to 21, 25, stuff like that, were because of schizophrenia, like because they had a straight consumption of marijuana. And then the FDA is checking out this because we've seen a rise on the potency of the devices, you know, like let's say a pen or like even the cannabis itself has had a little bit more of a, let's say, percentage of cannabis. No, I don't know what's the, like, you know, alcohol, but like for weed, you know, that kind
Interesting.
of stuff. So what do you think about that? Do you think that we should regulate more weed and
Honestly, I can't speak on that because I'm not, one, educated enough.
or consumer?
Yeah, and then two, I just can't speak on it. I'm not educated enough to know much about that or to even. I'm not involved with it.
Okay.
So,
but like you see society, like I mean, you have friends that smoke definitely, or you know people that smoked or no?
no, not really.
Not really.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it's not my thing. It's other people's thing, but it's not my thing. So honestly, I'm just not educated enough to speak on it. Really.
I think that we should have a little bit more eye on it. Regulation. I don't like regulation.
What do you mean? Like people should be more educated about it?
Yeah. I mean, start not taking it as a taboo. You know, because you don't learn about weed anywhere.
Right.
You learn about alcohol, and
Right.
you learn about the effects of alcohol.
Right.
And then when you're growing up in elementary school, you don't see like they told you not to do it, but then whenever you're asking questions, you're not being told the right answers. Like
Oh,
you
I
just like,
understand.
hey, don't ask those questions because
I think
we don't.
there's
You know.
not just that topic, but there's a lot of topics out there that need to they need to teach more people about and have people more educated about. Honestly, like not just that topic, but other topics too.
Like what?
Honestly, I don't know. I mean, I don't really know, to be honest, how to answer that because I'm so busy with soccer and school. That's honestly all I know. That's the only. You could ask me anything on that, and I'd know. But everything else, it's like I don't have time for it, and that's why I play soccer. Is I'm here to entertain you. I'm here to play soccer. It's the game I love, and I'm here to entertain you. That's why you're here.
Do you think soccer is an entertainment or a sport?
Yeah, I think
It's a
it's
business.
both. I think it's both.
Yeah, right.
I think anything, honestly, is a business, any sport. But at the same time, it's a sport. I think it's both. I mean, you can look at
But
it
I
from
think
both ways.
nowadays being more into the entertainment part. Like
I
they
can
want to
see
take the
that.
Champions League to the States. They want to take like some you know, like that's not necessary. But
Yeah, I can see that for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I see it more as like unless I'm playing on a field, it's entertainment. Like honestly, but like I feel like since I play it, I can understand the game really well. But I never really thought about that. I never really looked at it as entertainment.
Why do kids in the United States play a lot of soccer, and then whenever they grow up, they leave it. You know, like that's crazy for me. Like, because I've known plenty people that are from, like, their parents are generations from actually Texas or Utah, stuff like that, and then they tell me, okay, my dad actually played soccer when he was little, and then he grew up and he never thought of it. But in Mexico, for example, we played soccer all of our lives. Even though when you're like 35, 40, you go to the Sunday league and you play.
That's how it is in Tulsa, actually. Okay. It's everywhere, I feel like.
Tulsa is a big soccer city.
I mean, it's kind of become one, in my opinion, honestly, just from being there and living there my entire life.
Yeah. I think so.
Born and raised.
Yeah.
Tulsa always will have a special place in my heart. But, like, you can go to, there's a place called Soccer City. It's indoor soccer, and there's adult leagues, but I could also play. Like, I could be a goalkeeper for, like, guys that are, like, 35, 40.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and, I mean, they're great. Like, they're fun, they're crazy, and I love it. It's a great atmosphere, and it's, like, I love it because they're still playing. Like, even though they're, like, 35, 40, and it's nothing, like, professional or anything, or even a certain level they're trying to hit or a goal. They're just competitive and having a great time, you know? And I love it. That's what I aspire to be. Like, even though when I'm done, like, still be able to play. But to answer your question, I think kids honestly, like, quit not just soccer, but any sport the older they get because they realize they want to do something else, or they get burnt out because coaches can ruin your passion for a sport, or your
because
teammates.
of bad teaching.
Yeah, or like your teammates, or like they're like, well, I wasn't playing, I'm done. But as for me, like, I went through all of that and I'm still here.
How do you see the future of soccer in the U.S.? Like, I mean,
I think
being
it's
the next big thing on 2026, the World Cups.
Yeah,
I'm
so excited.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good one.
I'm going.
You're going where?
I'm gonna go to
Dallas?
a couple. Yeah. I want to try to hit one. It's I think it's in the Chiefs Stadium. No?
Okay, Kansas.
Yeah. Missouri.
There's a lot of places. I mean, there's like
I'm gonna
20
go
cities.
to a couple games.
We should go to Mexico for one game.
I want
Definitely.
to.
It would be
so
awesome.
bad. I
And
also
Canada,
want to go to Canada
one.
just for like the heck of it. I mean, why not?
yeah.
But I feel like a lot of kids just like quit soccer, but they still will watch it. So like, even so, like what you said, I feel like it's gonna keep rising because I feel like it's already rising, like in the U.S. soccer. So I feel like kids like that'll also help. Like, I feel like right now they quit because of all those reasons I gave you. But I also feel like because soccer is like going like this right now in the U.S., I feel like less kids will like.
And I see it a lot because they normally watch the Premier League, the English league. So that's because it's fairly similar to the way they play here in the MLS. However, we see an upbringing in the MLS. I mean, LAFC constantly being on top of the league, Chicharito, Carlos Vela, all of these players that saludotes. But like we see that the investment, the passion of the people actually going in. Yeah. I think it should be the same thing for the women's league, and I believe that the US could be definitely a great opponent in 2026.
For sure.
Well, the women's has always been a great opponent, but I'm talking about the men's side. It's crazy how, like, I'm scared actually because I root for the Mexican side, you know?
Right.
So, like, it's going to be tricky because that's the only thing that we're better at, like soccer right now. And then maybe in the 2026.
I hate to admit it, but yes.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, you know, like, whenever the better players in the MLS team are Latino players. And that's crazy. Yeah. But like maybe in the future that will change a little bit.
Yeah. I can see that happening for sure.
Let's say we talk about the last trending topic. So the last trending topic is the writers. Have you seen any of the scandals happening about the writers that are striking on Hollywood and New York?
No, I haven't.
Okay. I'm going to tell you a little bit. So what happened is that I'm going to give you some context before.
Yeah.
In 2007, there wasn't a strike for the writers. The writers are the people, for the people who don't know, there's people that actually write stuff for the comedy shows, for the movies, for the series, for everything that's going on with the industry, right? So people underestimate their job because they normally do the jokes. They do the punchlines. They do Jimmy Kimmel is Jimmy Kimmel, but I mean, he gets the jokes from a screen because somebody wrote them.
Right.
And Jimmy Fallon's the same stuff and such and such. We can keep going with that.
Now, don't diss him. I love them both.
Yeah.
Like, I love watching
them.
it.
Yeah. It's awesome. SNL too. Like, it's awesome shows.
Oh, yeah.
However, they have a great team of editors, of writers, of people of production, but they don't get the attention that they deserve. And not even the attention like I don't mean like being in front of the camera, but I mean getting the reimbursement or the credit that they deserve. It's known that Jimmy Kimmel, Jimmy Fallon, the S&P, Adam Sandler, like all these actors win millions of dollars every year,
right.
And the writers are not paying like dollars on the pennies on the dollar, you know.
Yeah.
So now, in 2007, they stroke on Hollywood, on New York, and it costed the industry $2.1 billion because it stopped series like The Office, it stopped series like, shows like Jimmy Fallon, shows like SNL, stuff like that. Because if you don't have a writer, who's gonna write your jokes? You know, and
wow.
that's a creative job, but like, it's hard. You know, it's hard to have a creative job like that.
Yeah, wow.
So now they're having another strike because we've seen statistics like 23% of the salary of the writers has been decreasing since 2010, stuff like that, because of AI, because of like freelancing. They don't give them the credit.
That's happening in a lot of different jobs.
It's crazy. What do you think about that AI and stuff like that?
Ugh, like the whole Snapchat thing just happened too. That was weird.
Yeah. You saw that?
Yeah, I mean, it weirded me out. I was even like, "What are you? Why are you here?"
Did you use it?
No.
No?
Absolutely not.
People were using it for betting. Did you see? Yeah, because
Really?
the AI you can ask like as a friend. We're gonna go on the topic a little bit further. This is a parenthesis, but like you can ask the AI, like, let's say, hey, will you see the Real Madrid Man City game on Sunday? Oh yeah. Who do you root for? Oh, I root for Real Madrid. And who do you think will win? I don't know. I'm an AI machine. And then it's like, but just goofing around, like, who would you predict will win? And then, okay, according to statistics because it gets information from the internet.
Wow.
Like, and then it actually, people were asking, hey, who's going to score the first basket in the Celtics Philly game? And it actually like asserted, like, gave the good answer. So what do you think about that? being used as a tool.
Yeah, I wouldn't say scary. I would say it's a bit nerve-wracking to know that there's such intelligence out there, and it's artificial intelligence. It's not.
And it's all been here for what, 5 months?
Yeah, and it's kind of weird. I mean, I understand like technology's advancing and growing, but like that was just a whole nother level of, like, wow, that's weird. But I mean, yeah. Technology's getting weird these days.
It is. And people are using it even for school. Like I have friends like, write me an essay, a 20-page essay about this, stuff like that. So do you think that's cheating? Do you think that's using a tool?
I mean, honestly, I think it is. But I also think it's no different than using websites like Brainly, Quizlet, stuff like that. Mm-hmm. It's no different. So
it depends. Or Chag or stuff like that.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah. I think it's no different, honestly. But I mean,
you as a freshman will enjoy that. Definitely.
I don't use those websites. I don't, and I can't. It's against NCAA rules, and I'm trying to play soccer and earn my degree, not just type my degree. Better believe me.
Definitely. No, it's a crazy time that we're living right now with technology, and I think people should take advantage of them at the best ethically way possible in the West. You don't have to step over somebody else to take your job. Like now, if you have a professor that's busting his ass off on your class and you're using ChatGPT, well, just tell him that, okay, maybe he should choose that class another way so that we can all move over with that, right? That's a little bit crazy with that.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Steph, I think that we can end up with that. You can tell the people what are you up to for the rest of the year? Or are you planning your plans on the second half of 2023? And how can we find you on social media?
Yeah. So my plan is obviously to continue my soccer career and playing, of course. As you know, I'm transferring schools. I'm leaving UTEP. But El Paso will always have a special place in my heart.
You like
it? I loved it. Yeah. I fell in love with the city and everybody I met. Like, campus was beautiful. The weather's different than Oklahoma.
Kind of windy.
Oh.
Kind of.
Oklahoma's, like, I thought that was windy.
Oh, really?
No.
Okay.
I came here and I was like, hurricane.
That's
how big of a difference it is.
Yeah.
And the elevation, too. I mean, and it's all grass there.
Yeah.
Oof.
And then, like, the streets are like this.
Yeah, everything. And then it's like in Oklahoma,
flat,
and that's how the people are.
Mid.
But so I'm looking to play at another college right now. I'm officially leaving UTEP.
Why?
I'm gonna keep playing soccer.
If we can know.
For a couple reasons, but my main reason is I just wanted to like try a new school because I want to play closer to home.
Okay.
Because I'm very family oriented,
Yeah.
But if it ends up being farther away from home or farther than El Paso is. Cool.
The opportunity that comes.
Yeah, I just know that the right thing will happen at the right time.
Definitely.
But I'm gonna keep playing soccer. But as far as where, I don't know.
You don't know. We're gonna watch it on the part 2. We're gonna go there. So wait for part 2.
So yeah, but I've enjoyed my time here in El Paso. But as for the summer, I'm going home. and I'm gonna be training
Yeah,
and coaching kids.
Okay.
I'm excited.
Ah, that's cool.
Yeah, and then boxing, of course.
Continue
and,
the Rocky era.
Yes. That's the era I'm in right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then as far as social media, I have Instagram. It's my name, and then Facebook. It's my name. Twitter is my name. YouTube is my name.
Okay, so we're gonna put it right here so that people that go and say hi.
Can I do
no
like
haters? Of course.
That's great.
There, over there. Over there's gonna be.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Steph. Thank you for coming. It was a
Yeah.
pleasure.
Thank you.
Having you. Remember to also follow @Fede Morado over here so you can have all the glimpse at all the guests like Steph right here. And that's all for today. Welcome. Well, bye. Trending Topic Talk. See ya.
Welcome.
Bye.